What is up, guys? This is Rich with Red Phone Video here, and I'm making my return to the YouTubes. I haven't done a video in like 2 or possibly 3 years. I'm a little older now. I'm a little fatter. Anyway, I wanted to bring this little segment back, Rec of the Week, and I promise I'm going to do like more YouTube videos, like more physical media stuff, and just talking about movies. It's the kind of stuff that I like to do. I don't want this channel to die, guys. Just like I don't want modern cinema to die. Like I want to continue to talk about movies. I want to keep the conversation open. So this is a little segment. It's called Rec of the Week, in case you didn't know. But this is like entry number 4, I believe, video number 4. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this movie called The Fields. And this is a movie that I don't even know if you can still get this on Blu-ray, but it stars Tara Reid, and it stars Cloris Leachman. And Cloris Leachman, she was from like the Last Picture Show. She was like a really great actress. A lot of people might know her from like Beer Fest, and she did like the voice of an old lady on Beavis and Butthead Do America. But Cloris Leachman, it was a classy broad. She was a good actress, and she steals the fucking show in this movie. And Tara Reid is not really in it like a whole lot, but she plays the mom of this kid, and it's this kid named Steven. I'm just going to give you guys kind of a little rough idea of what the plot is. And if I seem a little rusty, guys, it's because I haven't really talked about movies on YouTube in a while. So you'll just have to bear with me as I summarize this movie as best as I can. And it's also been a long time since I've seen this movie. So I'm going to try to recall as much as I can, but I do know this movie is creepy as hell, and I highly recommend it because it's about this kid named Steven, and I don't remember who plays the kid, but he goes to stay with his grandparents because his parents like suck, and Tara Reid is his mom, and she's horrible, and like his dad's horrible, and from what I remember, like the parents just fight a lot. They fight, and it's just a horrible place for a kid to be raised. So he goes to stay, with his grandparents on this farm in Pennsylvania, and Cloris Leachman is his grandma, and she's just cool as shit. She's like a really like fun grandma. Like she likes horror movies, from what I remember, and she lets the kids stay up. But anyway, he starts hearing like weird sounds at night in these fields, like cornfields. And it kind of reminds me of like Children of the Corn. It's really it kind of has a vibe to it, and this is also in the early '70s. So this would be right around the time of the Charles Manson scare. It's right around that time, when people were really scared of like all the hippies and the slippies. The Charles Manson disciples. There was like a big satanic panic, which I think ran throughout the '70s and of course the early '80s. But anyway, in the fields, this kid, man, he wanders out into the fields, and he starts hearing like noises, and then he finds like a dead body. Without giving too much away, he stumbles upon like this abandoned amusement park out in the middle of the field, way past the cornfields. Half the time when you're watching the movie, you don't really know if this is like supernatural or if this is like really weird people, you know, sort of showing up around the farm, like all these like weird hippies, because the kid goes to town and he actually sees some of these like weird hippies, like a lot of hippie girls. And then I don't know, I'm kind of I'm really not explaining this movie very well, but I'm just trying to give you guys the tone and the vibe of it. And there's a really weird sequence in the middle. Like I remember watching this movie when I was super high. This was like probably, I think this movie came out in 2011 or 2012, and I was super stoned. I watched this movie and I was really unsettled, and more unsettled than I already was. Like I started getting panicky because a lot of it feels like a nightmare. A lot of this movie feels like a weird fever dream, for lack of a better word. But the kid, it reminds you of being a kid because the way that you discover things when you're a kid, everything's just new and everything is kind of scary. And I think that's a lot like thematically. I think that's what this film is trying to convey, because the kid does come from a fucked up household, and he goes to stay with his grandparents. Now his grandparents are really cool. Like I think their names are Gladys and Heine. And Heine's an interesting character because I don't want to give anything away, but in the third act, Heine, like, I mean, he kicks ass. He's like an old dude and he has like fucking 5 heart attacks in the movie or something. I mean, from what I remember, but it's I don't know. It's a weird vibey movie. It has a great atmosphere, and I want to say on IMDb that it has like a 4.3 out of 10 rating. I don't know if I said that already, but this is a super slept on movie. And if you like, stories about weird cults and weird little, sub communities and just like fucked up rednecks, this movie has that. It's not like not like a Texas Chainsaw vibe or anything. You could say maybe it's Texas Chainsaw adjacent. It has some weird characters, some offbeat, eccentric characters, especially in the middle. Like even with the kid's family, like he goes to visit his cousins, and I don't remember. There's some fucked up shit that happens there, and it's really gross. Like this movie has a weird. It's off kilter. It's eccentric. And don't be fooled by the ratings because you look this movie up and it's gonna be like rated low. And a lot of people will say, oh well, Tara Reid's in it, it's gonna be some direct to video piece of shit. But I actually, look, I mean, she did a movie called Devil's Pond in 2004 that I thought was great. It had like Kip Pardue in it. And Tara Reid, look, people can say what they want about her. She does a good job in this movie. And like I said, she's not in it for very long. But it's all about Cloris Leachman, man. Like it's all about Cloris Leachman in this movie, and the kid is good. A lot of the fear is conveyed, just through the eyes of this kid, and you're discovering everything the same time he does. And so, when he finds the body in the field, it's genuinely creepy. And then the abandoned amusement park, like that feels like a nightmare. And again, I can't really describe this movie in any other way other than very strange, bizarre, unsettling, and it's super suspenseful. Like towards the end, when you don't know if what what is surrounding the farm, you don't know if it's supernatural or if it's just like these weird fucking slippies, like these Manson like cult members that are just like harassing this family because you just. I mean, eventually you get all the answers towards the end, but even at the very end, it's still a little ambiguous. Uh, to me, it's not like a great mystery or anything, but it's just one of those creepy ghost-like stories. Even though it doesn't lean into ghost territory, it's basically just about weird people. So, The Fields, I can't recommend this enough. Now, I'm not going to say this is like a masterpiece or anything, but I do think it should be rated higher than what it's rated. And I bought this movie like in 2011, 2012. So I don't know if you can even still find this Blu-ray, but I do believe it's streaming. So if you want to watch it, you'll probably have to get on like Amazon Prime. Maybe Tubi has this movie too. I have no idea. It seems like something they would play. Yeah, The Fields. I can't think of anything else to say about it other than get on it. So yeah, The Fields, Cloris Leachman. She is the best part of this movie. She cusses a lot, and I think that's like one of the best things about her character is she cusses a lot at this kid, and not cussing. She doesn't like cuss him out, but she just cusses like around him, and it reminds me of like how I grew up, with my parents and my grandparents. We all talked like a bunch of fucking sailors. So that is The Fields. I would say hunt this movie down, and this is like a good time. And this just reminds me of like that spooky season, and since we're approaching the fall season, this is just one of those movies. It's perfect to watch. Like you get like a fucking fire going or something, and it just has those fall vibes, with the cornfields and just the Pennsylvania rural creepy setting. But yeah, that is The Fields, 2011, I think 2012. But hunt it down. That is your wreck of the week. And I promise that I'm not going to be absent from YouTube. Actually, I can't make any promises, guys. I don't know. But I'm going to try to get this YouTube shit going again. So I hope you guys stay with the channel. Like I said, I don't want this channel to die. I want to keep, physical media alive. And that's what I'm saying, man. If you can find this on DVD and Blu-ray, hunt it down and watch the shit out of it because this is You know, as cheap as this movie is, it's an indie effort. You can tell it's a little indie darling, but it's good. It's solid. So hunt this movie down. Let's keep physical media alive. And yeah, this is Rich with Red Phone Video, and I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will catch you on the next video.